So Harth, you know, the community that all my videos are based on. It's been around for 4 years now, and there is a lot of history. And so I thought that I would discuss this history mostly for the new recruits who have joined in 2021 and previous years and have no idea about some of the old shenanigans we got up to. But also just to document some stuff before we forget about it, because it's been 4 years since we started. Most of the said history has been documented on YouTube, but not all, and a lot of members want to know everything about Harth. So, without further ado, let's start from the beginning. 2017, you know, the year of Jake Paul and Logan Paul and all that cringe blew up. Yeah, that year. In February of 2017, I used to be called Unicellular. Funny thing is that I literally changed my name like a few days after this part we're talking about. So after that, I'm known as Sarfnic for the rest of the series. I'm still Sarfnic now, and I probably will be Sarfnic for a long time. I was kind of feeling a little depressed with Minecraft. I don't know why. It was the closest I've ever come to quitting Minecraft. And my good friend Warcries did not like that. So he decided to make a deal with me, very desperately, needing his good friend Sarfnic, or Unicellular back then, to play with him. So he offered these few options, and I decided I liked the idea of an RPG. Now I remember back then being like, okay, this is interesting. I guess we're gonna start a server, it's probably gonna fail, and we'll move on to bigger things. How wrong I was. So, we had nothing to name it, and I was thinking, well, I want to make a medieval RPG, right? So, well, what's something medieval? Harp. Medieval harp, you know, like the instrument, harp. But what if I add something like a TH after that? Hearth. And that became the origin of Harth. So, we needed a server to host it on. Well, I had a Minecraft realm, so we just used that. We needed players to be moderators and staff on the server and builders. And what we did was recruit some. So I had a friend named Firebreath Izar, who I met on Windcraft one day. You guys may know him as Firal. I recruited him, and Warcries recruited the rest of everyone. He was part of a Hypixel guild called Hypixel Knights at the time, and recruited a few members from there, like Senpai Soul, who you guys may know now as ButterTaco, or Eggsick. Slims, who was cousins with ButterTaco, and is still cousins, I don't know. 99 Lulu 999, who is still known as Lou, has never changed his name in these past few years. He actually wasn't from Hypixel Knights, he was from a different guild with someone else that we knew a while back. And I recall some other members, like 94A, who you guys know as Shoffley now, and Egyptian Cow, and a few others that I don't remember, and I don't want to go too far back and find out who they are. So yeah, we started work on the RPG. We also had a Discord server. I believe I was the owner, and it was called Harth. And we had this logo, this cringe logo. I just looked up some random knight helmet on Google, and then Warcries edited, and that was the Harth logo for a little while at least. So building an RPG on Realms was really difficult because there were no plugins, and we couldn't use World Edit. So we had to build by hand. So I remember the spawn being a icy area kind of surrounding a river, and then behind it there was a plains area, and we built a beautiful, beautiful hobbit hole. I mean, I still think it was one of my best buildings ever. We also did a really good job terraforming. Then we had a cliff to the left. I don't know, I'm just basing this off my memory. And then to the right, we were actually building a lake and a hill for the Sansul tribe, which was based off of Senpai Soul, who again is ButterTaco, and I actually convinced him to rename himself Sensul. We had a Google Drive for new staff and everything. This was meant to be a lobby, not an actual like RPG. It was like an RPG themed lobby, and we'd have mini games. We'd eventually switch over to a regular server with plugins like an SMP and other sort of games, I suppose. Not really sure what we were planning with that. But this was mostly just Warcries' idea. I was kind of hesitant on that, but whatever. Also to clarify, Warcries was technically called Jams as Evil here, because at the same time of this RPG, we were also playing on this dumb SMP with this guy named Jams. Pretty corrupt dude, wasn't worth our time. I don't know why Warcries liked him. There also was actually a secret bar we built underneath the Hobbit hole. It was pretty cool. So yeah, a lot of this was inspired from Windcraft. and we needed to terraform like Windcraft, but the problem was we didn't really have Reddit, as I said. So, for new builders, I actually had a test called the dirt test, where we would see how they would scaffold using dirt or grass. And some folks failed it, some folks, they succeeded in it, and they became builders. We also had a lot of fun times on here. I remember Eggsick, aka ButterTaco, aka Senpai Soul, aka Sensoul. There's a lot of names for this guy. We'll refer to him as ButterTaco from now on. Butter was always just giving himself an elytra and fireworks and then going in survival and just flying around the entire map. Like, never building anything, actually just always flying around the entire map. And I remember Lou invented a meme that many Harth members don't get, so I'm finally explaining here. Now you will finally understand this meme called Patricia. So, I think that I might have named Patricia. We just had an armor stand that pretended it was Lou's ex-wife or ex-girlfriend or something, and it just became a meme. We'd use command blocks. I know Warcries was really good at command blocks to, like, put in chat messages as if it was Patricia messaging Lou. I break up with you, or whatever. Patricia was always meant to be like this fat white woman in our mind. Warcries, do you remember Patricia?
Yes.
What do you remember about Patricia?
Patricia was about just as retarded as that retarded accent you're currently doing.
AKA, you remember a lot about Patricia in that case.
Yes.
Indeed. Patricia was truly a beauty, and a glistening memory of the old days of Harth.
Ooh, that's a good one. Well, so the first time I ever came across Patricia was going into the hobbit hole that Lou made on the RPG, and I went in there because I saw him rapidly, his username, disappearing from him crouching over and over again.
Lol.
So I go down in there, and I see a mannequin with the name Patricia laid out on a bed with him over it, spam crouching. That was my first experience with Patricia.
It was a beautiful moment, it seems.
Yeah, two wild animals.
And you remember we would, like, hang out by the snowy area, and then Warcries would, like, make command block messages from Patricia. We'd have, like, a whole conversation about Patricia, and Lou would, like, freak out. What was Patricia? Was she, like, Lou's ex-girlfriend or ex-wife?
I have no clue what actually how Patricia originated.
Yeah, too far back.
I think that was before I came in.
I don't really know. I feel like it's just something Lou and I made. Alright, next question. What did you think about the RPG?
RPG bad.
Pretty much the only thing I remember is a few people, a few friends, you know, Sarfnic, Warcries, and me, and a few others. Building, having fun, building a few trees, terrain.
A lot of stupid drama that happened between you and Slims, Patricia, the midget hotel I made, Warcry's very feminine sounding voice. That's about it, to be honest, for notable things.
Without the RPG, there could have been no Harth.
Okay, without the Sarfnic, there could have been no Warcries and Aramis friendship.
True, facts. But the RPG did lead Harth to bond as a group with the, you know, Vex.
I'd argue that it tore people apart more so than.
Really? The
I
RPG.
Think one achieved more so.
The RPG didn't tore anyone.
I don't think it, obviously it kind of actually got new recruits, but a lot of people's friendships were actually more so damaged by the RPG compared to say something like.
I mean, yeah, there were controversies.
The only actual main controversy that wasn't just for fun in Season 1 was you and Firal, and that was resolved.
Having kind of like semi-arguments about the terrain that we had, especially like the big lake.
Alright, do you remember flying around the map a lot? And elytra and fireworks and stuff?
Now that you mention it, kinda.
Yeah, that was your thing, was mentioning that. Next question.
Gotta zoom.
I remember two things actually happening in the RPG. First off, Slims, right? I think I got really mad at Slims for not working hard enough as an admin. And so I think I just fired him on the spot or some shit.
Yes.
And then also there was this... I'm digging back my memory here. There was someone who did something bad. Like someone who did kill at E, I think. And it was one of your friends, and we had to like ban them or something.
Yeah, I remember that. I forgot who.
Yeah.
Someone
from Hypixel Knights.
Carcinogenesis? No, he wasn't on Hypixel Knights.
Yeah, it wasn't Christina.
But yeah, you know Christina. I have your way. Harth RPG cringe.
Always will hold a special place in my heart, though.
Oh, fuck you.
There was a very cute hobbit hut that we made, a hobbit hole, really, and it had a secret entrance. And there was a bar that I really liked being there, because it was a very cute bar, and I worked on it. Other things that I remember is like Warcries being very, very picky with specific, I'll say, buildings, not necessarily, just the terrain, the aesthetic. I found it pretty interesting. And then you were there having fun as well. And I'm pretty sure you were the one hosting
Yeah, it was
the
my realm.
server, yeah. So overall, it was a fun experience while it lasted, because none of us really knew what we were doing, but we were just having fun, so it didn't really matter.
Closing thoughts on the Harth RPG?
Harth RPG was never gonna work, and I am very glad that you guys saw that and went with the SMPs.
Awesome. Thank
But
you.
it was fun working on it.
Patricia, she was something special. Anyways, eventually we decided to stop working on the RPG to switch it over to something different. To an SMP. See you guys in the next episode.